Hi, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Hi.
And this is our WrestleMania 36 Part 2 reactions. Yes, first of all, like I said, this is Part 2 of 2 nights. Obviously, we've done the review for the first part. We'll put that link at the end of the video. Any follow-up? Yes, there's one bit of follow-up. The Triple Threat ladder match. Apparently on the WWE Network there's a program called The Bump. I don't watch it. Apparently on there they said that The Miz was injured and that Morrison would be doing the match on his own. So they did actually say this, but nobody really watches The Bump, so I don't see how they can say that everyone knew. The true fact is Miz isn't actually injured. He has actually shown signs of the coronavirus, so that was the real reason. Anyway, starting off day part 2, obviously there's been a little bit of sort of people saying it wasn't as good. Part 1 wasn't that great and all that and the other. I think it was average. We said that. This second show, we'll get into it as we get through it. Started off with Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Again, I'm not going to elaborate too much on the matches because if not, we'll be here all day. Just to say that we have a new NXT champion, or the NXT Women's Champion, because Charlotte Flair got the win. Surprisingly enough, she got the win. I'm not really too surprised. Are you surprised that she won? No. Next we had Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Again, there's no storyline here. We did have Lana. She was a big influence in the end of this match because it looked like Lashley was going to go for a slam onto Aleister Black, only for Lana to jump on the apron and said, no, go for a spear. He went for the spear, only for Aleister Black to do
a black mass.
Yes, the black mass and get the win. They did actually say, quick point, Money in the Bank. They kept showing Money in the Bank. I've actually read and seen that Money in the Bank has been cancelled. It's not going to happen. So I don't really know if that's true or not, or why they're still showing these videos to advertise it on May the 10th. But hopefully there'll be a bit more news coming out about that later on. Otis versus Ziggler. Ziggler was with Sonya Deville. As you already know, this is a Mandy Ziggler Otis love triangle, and it was shown that Sonya Deville was sort of pulling some strings to sort of push Ziggler towards Mandy Rose. At the end of this match, Sonya Deville was distracting the ref, only for Ziggler to get a low blow. Then Mandy Rose came out, slapped Sonya Deville, did a low blow then to Ziggler, and then Otis did the caterpillar for the win. So he then sweeped up Mandy Rose, give her a kiss, and then they went to the back. So that's, don't know if that's going to be the end of this storyline or the beginning of a new one. We'll have to see. Then we had Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match. Obviously, this is a deep personal match. This match went very, very, very long. I found I was struggling towards the end of it for getting a bit bored with it. The commentating wasn't great. There was loads of times where the commentators just didn't seem to know what to say. They just didn't say anything at all. They did fight through the performance center. They went to the gym area. They went to an office. There was a really cool spot with Edge where they were on this big, like, sort of sturdy table. Orton was on the table laying on his back. Edge then climbed up this sort of scaffold and sort of thing that was on the ceiling, and he did that sort of elbow. That was quite a nice little spot. To be fair, you know, like I said, I don't want to go through everything because it was a very, very long match. It's safe to say that Edge got the win because he did a concerto on top of a truck, and that was kind of how he won. Next, Austin Theory and Angel Garcia versus the Street Profits, Raw Tag Team Championships. Knew this wasn't going to be a long match. Street Profits got a win, only for then Angel Garcia and Austin Theory to attack Montez Ford. That brought out Bianca Belair because she is the real life wife of Montez Ford, and she took out Selena Vega because she got involved in it as well. Next we had the 5-pack elimination match, whatever you want to call it, for the Smackdown Women's Championship. It was Bayley, Sasha Banks, Lacey Evans, Tamina and Naomi. Obviously the match's storyline was this friendship, helping each other from Bayley and Sasha Banks. Tamina went first, followed by Naomi, and then Banks, it looked like Banks was going to Bayley and Banks were going to get the upper hand on Lacey Evans, only for then Banks to get eliminated, which was a bit of an upset. There was a bit of discrepancy between Banks and Bayley because she ended up kneeing her in the head at one point, and it looked like they're going to have breakdown in this feud, but that didn't really happen because then Banks went and helped Bayley to retain. But so we don't really know what's going to happen. Next, Cena versus The Fiend. Firefly's Funhouse match. This was such a complex little sequence. I can't really go through it. It's a bit like the Undertaker match. All I have to do is say to people to watch it to really understand it. It was more like a psychological sort of trek through history for Cena, and it was a really, really strange thing. It wasn't really a match in my eyes. It was kind of a sequence. There was like throwbacks to like the Thugonomics, John Cena, and Bray Wyatt from the Wyatt family, and there was quite a few little sort of in jokes and stuff like that. It was a really, really good thing. I'm not going to say won it. I'm just basically going to tell people to watch it to really understand where I'm coming from about how complex it was. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence at the minute. What I thought about it, I haven't really processed it, and thought, like with the AJ Styles Undertaker, I thought that was really, really good, really well done, and that left me think, and I was really happy with that. This one, I'm not really too sure how I feel about it. What did you feel about that sequence, Kai?
I thought that was really funny.
Funny, yeah. It had a few little funny moments, yeah. It was more like a psychological game to Cena. It was really, really strange. I don't know. And then the main event, Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for WWE Championship. Bit of a what's the word? It was predictable. That's the word. A bit predictable. You kind of knew that this was going to be a McIntyre win, which is what it was, and it was kind of just a typical Lesnar. Oh, I'll do 10 suplexes, 3 F5s, kick out of every single one from McIntyre. McIntyre then did 3 Claymores in a row. Yeah, but I'll get to that. I know what you're going to say. Yeah, he did 3 Claymores in a row at the end, but he'd already done 1 at the beginning, so it ended up being 4 Claymore kicks and got the win. He kind of looked at the camera and said thank you to everyone at home for this moment. I felt a little bit sorry for him because, he's worked so hard and he needed that crowd reaction, I think, to really appreciate it. So I felt a bit sorry for Drew McIntyre there as a person, because I know it's like a scripted environment and they're predetermined, but he had worked very hard to get that belt, and it's quite a shame that no crowd really was able to appreciate it and cheer for him and you deserve it chants and all that. Yeah, so that was what it was. He will be back in front of an arena, and he will get that adulation from the crowds, but it's not coming anytime soon, sadly. So yeah, that was WrestleMania Part 2. I think as you look at it overall, I think WrestleMania was a very, very below average show. There were some really high moments, like the AJ Styles Undertaker, Lesnar McIntyre. To me, it was just normal Lesnar match. It's nothing spectacular about it. The Edge match, yeah, fair enough. That was not too bad, but I think it dragged on a little bit at the end. So yeah, should they have done it? Shouldn't they have done it at the end of it? Now they've done it. I personally believe they should have postponed it. They should have had these matches at SummerSlam when they could have had that crowd to really appreciate it. And this is the result of what we got at the end. What the future brings for WWE, I don't know. Raw is meant to be tonight. I haven't actually been on the internet to see if it's happening or not. As far as I know, it's going to be happening from an undisclosed location. I don't really know. But obviously we'll have to see what happens going forward now. Like I say, I'm a little bit lost for words about what happens next, because I don't really know. But anyway, like I say, if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of WrestleMania, and we'll see you in the next video. That might be Raw recap, a Raw Sum review, or it would be probably the AEW, because as we know, AEW recorded their shows into the middle of May, so they will still have a programme going forward. So anyway, I think we'll leave it there. So I'll say goodbye. Say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.